Hello everyone, my name is JC and this is episode 1 introducing the Yazidi Genocide. I originally thought about choosing one of the topics about the Holocaust because I know a decent amount about it. Prior to this, I took a few classes on it and I have done personal readings as well, but I decided to challenge myself to learn about something new. This one in particular drew me in because I had never heard of it, considering it is one of the more recent events. To start, the Yazidi genocide happened in the year of 2014 and began in June, with the most dire attack happening on August 3rd. Following this attack, thousands were stranded on Mount Sinjar awaiting rescue, though many did not survive. The majority of prime events occurred until 2017, where defeat happened, but even so, it is still considered ongoing. In this slide, we see the area south of Mount Sinjar that had significant damage occurring during the genocide. Even now, there is not much effort put forth to fix it like there is in the north. The location of the genocide occurred in the Sinjar region of northern Iraq and also had effects on surrounding areas and communities who witnessed the atrocities. This next slide depicts a Yazidi family who once lived in Sinjar that fled in 2017, seeking refuge in Greece. They now live in Germany. The overall group of perpetrators included the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, more known as ISIS. Something that I think is very important is to recognize people for their crimes in a court of law. The first person to be found guilty was Taha al-Jumali for crimes against humanity as well as war crimes. He enslaved a 5-year-old girl and a woman, and this resulted in the girl's death. His sentence was a life sentence. Someone else who was found guilty was a Swedish woman of the name Lena Ishak. She was guilty of holding 9 people hostage, 6 children and 3 women. She kept them as slaves from 2014 till 2016. She was sentenced to only 12 years in prison. The victims included all Yazidi men, women, and children, though there was a different plan for each of them. According to an article written by Karzan Mahmoud, Yazidi people were viewed as the other, with many labeling them as devil worshippers, because they belonged to a non-Arabic religion. The Yazidis worshipped Melik Tammuz and saw it as one of the 7 beings from God, while people that were a part of ISIS believed that it was a devil from Abrahamic religions. This misconstrued idea meant that they had more justification for their doing, as they were seen as non-believers and infidels. So far, there's not been an official end to this, though ISIS forces were militarily defeated in 2019. There are still massacres occurring, missing people, and others who are unable to return either through hardships or being unable to because of what they are left with after the fact. This slide shows us a group of mourners preparing to bury Yazidi victims following the discovery of mass graves in 2021. Over 400,000 Yazidis fled, and of them, 200,000 are still unable to return to their homes. 5,000 people were killed, most of whom were men and older women. According to Nadia's Initiative, a website ran by women who escaped captivity during the genocide, more than 6,000 women and children were taken captive by ISIS, and nearly 2,800 are still missing today. In this last slide, we see Germany officially showing its recognition of the Yazidi genocide. It joins the other 18 governments and international bodies that have done so. Germany is one of the nations that actively supported Yazidi people the most, and they have also persecuted ISIS members for genocide-specific things. I personally think that this is something that is very important for people to learn about for many reasons. One being because many of them don't pay attention to what is going on outside of their own lives, let alone their own nation. Because of this, many don't know just how truly horrific the world we live in can be. In this case, there's also the fact that this is still ongoing. It is so important for people to see that genocides don't just happen overnight. There are small and careful steps taken to alienate groups of people, all while no one really sees the underlying mission. One thing that really made me interested was because of how prevalent the sexual violence was. In many massacres, wars, genocides, etc., women are almost always used for their bodies and their lives are taken from them. There was systematic rape and violence against Yazidi women and girls that were as young as 9 years old. They were used in sexual slavery, where they were bought, sold, traded, and some were forced to marry fighters. Boys were forced into conversion along with being separated from their mothers, where they were then brainwashed, radicalized, and trained as child soldiers. The older boys who refused this demand were executed by shooting or by cutting their throats. They were then left in either mass graves or where they last lay. These are just a few examples that help showcase just how dire things were. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in episode 2.